there, my friend. Welcome to the episode. I've got a question for you. How's your current IBD treatment plan going? Are you feeling confident with all the pieces that you have in place? Or is there something missing? Something you might not be able to quite put your finger on, but you know if you could just figure it out, your life would transform in an instant. Oftentimes when I get to chat with our fabulous gut love community members or my amazingly courageous one-on-one clients, I hear this sentiment. I'm doing everything right, but I'm just not getting better. Or I know something is missing from my treatment plan, but I don't know what. Or I'm just so frustrated with my treatment plan, the one my doctor has me on. It's not in line with how I want to heal. And let's get real here. Having a treatment plan that is totally in line with your core values, one that works, is crucial to living the life you were meant to live. Because when Crohn's and colitis plagues you, it's a constant daily battle. Heck, it's a moment to moment battle. And I know that battle well. So I see you and I feel you. I understand that merry-go-round, that IBD merry-go-round, because it's been part of my life journey since I was a young teenager, through the good times and the bad. Between doctor's appointments, medications, flare-ups, managing the kiddos, trying to work and trying to find time for that all elusive self-care that we know our mind, our body, our soul needs. It's really tough navigating the world of IBD, isn't it? It's about always staying one step ahead of it. And sometimes we succeed and sometimes we fail. I'm right there with you. I'm raising my hand over here. I'm right there with you. For the most part, we rely on our gastroenterologists to get through the rough patches, the flare-ups. But how's that working for you? These totally short, often rushed appointments where your ideas and thoughts and sometimes your ability to advocate for yourself, it just tends to get lost. You end up barely scratching the surface with what you need. And I'm not one to completely poo-poo doctors or medications, but I have to say, in a perfect world, we'd all be stable enough to be off of drugs. But even when you're doing everything in the natural realm that's at your disposal, even when you're doing everything you can to find long-term health, sometimes medication needs to be part of that picture as well. Sometimes short-term and sometimes long-term. So yeah, medications and the doctors who prescribe them, they have their place. But it's important that you know one thing today. If you leave this episode and you only have one piece of information, if you hit pause right now and you never come back, I need you to know this one thing, just this one thing. Gastros and the meds that they prescribe, they are not your one-stop shop for gut health. No. Docs and meds are just one piece of your IBD treatment puzzle. The analogy of thinking about your IBD as a puzzle, it's the perfect way to think of it. And putting the pieces together, putting those puzzle pieces together, when we only get one puzzle piece from our traditional provider, that puts a lot on us, a lot on the patient. So I don't take it lightly when I tell you how hard this is and when I tell you this hard truth, because we're moms. We're juggling all the things along our IBD journey, and it's truly freaking hard to find time to put more puzzle pieces into place. But we must find the time. We must find the strength to do just that. The medication GI doc puzzle piece, it can be a strong, solid middle piece of your healing puzzle, but it never shows up as that necessary pillar of a puzzle piece. That's that true corner connector piece, and it never gets to the root of our illness. And that route, the med only route, it never truly heals us because it solely focuses on covering up the symptoms rather than taking the time to truly understand the root causes of your specific individual challenges. Your IBD healing journey towards health, it shouldn't be so hard, but it is. And that's frustrating. Let me just say what it is and let's just call it out. It's frustrating, isn't it? You may even go into your doctor's office and you might even be full of hope that this time it's going to be different. This time you've got all your questions in hand. This time they've got to help you. But so often we leave those doctor's appointments feeling disheartened and dejected. I felt that way. I dare say most of the time. Where's the hope? Where's the amount of good news that comes from that appointment? And if you found this podcast and you're in the realm of the gut love community, you know that I am all about the absolute opposite, the opposite way that you feel after those frustrating appointments. To me, healing should never be about disheartenment or distrust. It should be about empowerment, advocacy, knowledge, hope, root causes, and positivity. When was the last time you left your doctor's office feeling any of those emotions? Empowerment, advocacy, knowledge, hope, root causes, positivity. If you want more of those gut healing vibes in your life, where do you go to get them? Well, I'm so glad you asked that question because I've got your answer. This episode of the Cheeky Podcast is your roadmap to navigating a new world of IBD medicine, a world where ultimate healing and positivity is the goal. Imagine that. And it's a form of healing that's actually, I didn't invent it. It's a form of healing that's been around for centuries, but it still is pretty much, I'd say, in its infancy in the United States. So, what am I talking about here? What's the new approach to treating IBD that encompasses everything you desire and everything you deserve from your medical care team? It's the world of complementary, natural, alternative, root cause, integrative, functional medicine. It is called by so many names, but at its heart, this type of medicine is about all those positive thoughts and feelings that I mentioned. When you find the right provider in this space, it has the power to turn your IBD treatment plan on its head because it's all about empowerment, advocacy, knowledge, hope, root causes, and positivity. Finding the right provider in this natural type of health space, a provider who takes the time to hear your story, who takes the time to listen, who gives you access to ask your questions and leaves you with a heart-centered treatment plan that encourages the body's innate ability to heal. It's this type of provider, these types of providers who can help craft your ultimate IBD healing plan. Can I get an amen? Okay, so keep that middle puzzle piece, GI doc. I'm not saying get rid of it. Keep it. Keep that middle puzzle piece, GI doc. Keep the meds if you need them, because we need these pieces to complete our IBD healing puzzle. But don't forget that we also need the strong pillar of the puzzle corner piece. That corner piece provider, we need that as well. We'll never fully complete our healing journey without someone like that in our corner. And it's my dream that each and every one that's part of the GLC and beyond, of course, beyond, finds a provider like this. Sometime in their lifetime, I want everybody to find a provider like this. You deserve to be treated with the respect and the attention to uncover hidden gems, to successfully manage your illness. And I have to say, I have been so incredibly blessed because I've been able to work with a number of providers who fit this description over the years. And I swear they are at the heart and soul of all the healing that's taken place for me. And it's time for you to find your natural healing provider as well. And that sounds incredible, right? Finding a provider who actually listens and works with you instead of against you. So you're probably wondering, where do I start? Where do I start? Where do I find such a provider? The good news is that nowadays they're everywhere. You just have to know where to look to find them. It's time for us to just step away from the grasping at straws approach, the throwing spaghetti at a wall treatment plan, and then maybe connect with a provider who truly understands what you're going through. It's one thing to know this information, to even embrace it in your mind, but it's a whole other dimension to actually get out there and find the natural root cause healing provider that's got your name on it. So today, it's my goal to help you explore your natural provider options, arm you with the right questions to ask to know if these providers are the right fit for you, and then most importantly, empower you. Empower you to take charge of your health like the badass mom warrior that I know you are. Are you ready? I said, are you ready? Okay, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing the feedback. You're ready. Good. Okay, let's dive in. Okay, so hopefully now I have at least sold you on the benefits of finding a medical provider who works with you as your equal partner on your healthcare journey, because holy cow, it's so powerful. But now the question is, who is that? Who is that provider for you? We're going to find that out together, because knowing your options is your best starting place. You can't get started if you don't know what your options are. I have to say, though, that the best news I can give you is that there's this whole world of alternative medicine out there. It's waiting to be explored. Now, it might not be 5 minutes from your front door, but with just a little bit of knowledge about where and how to search, you can find a root cause provider who is right for you. And keep in mind, you don't need to connect with all of these options. What's most important is finding the right provider rather than spreading yourself thin with multiple practitioners who might not fully understand all your needs. Or I have to say, even worse than that is when there's just too many cooks in the kitchen. They all end up giving you competing treatment plans. If you've ever been there, you know what I'm talking about. It's an absolute nightmare. This process of finding the right alternative provider, it can take a little bit of time and a little bit of research on your part, but I know that you can do this, my friend. Us IBD gals, we're skilled. We are tenacious, and given the proper tools, we find the right providers who can make all the difference on our gut healing journey. I know this to be true, so I know that you can do this. So who are these alternative medicine providers, and what do they bring to the table? Well, I am so happy to tell you that the options abound. From acupuncturists to chiropractors, Reiki masters, therapists, counselors, alternative options go on and on. And while the types of practitioners that I just mentioned, while they can really play a valuable role in your holistic care team, your best starting place is with a natural-minded, holistic IBD specialist. I'm going to say that one more time. A natural-minded, holistic IBD specialist. These are folks who sit at what I call the top of the natural health pyramid, armed with the knowledge and the expertise to get to the root of your IBD symptoms. The integrative medicine doctor, the functional medicine provider, and the naturopath. These are some of the best, most skilled types of providers that you'll want to research. These specialists, they offer a whole body approach to health. They have training to run comprehensive functional tests. Your traditional doctor will probably never think of the tests that they run, and they focus on treating the underlying causes of your symptoms rather than just masking them with medications. Working with a provider like the ones that I just mentioned, it can be truly life-changing. And I don't say that lightly. I know a lot of people use that word. It's so transformative. It's so life-changing. I don't use that lightly. I mean it. It can be life-changing. And like I said, I truly want that valuable gift for you because they have this unique ability to partner with you in a really empowering way, to be your guide, not your dictator or your guru, as you at like capital YOU, take control of your health and reclaim your life from the inside out. Just a quick interruption. We will get back to the podcast in a second. I'm wondering, are you like many of us with Crohn's and colitis? You're turning to food to help heal your gut, but you're just feeling really overwhelmed by the myriad of gut healing diets out there. There's gluten-free and dairy-free and paleo gaps, and it can be really confusing and frustrating and leave you feeling disheartened about which diet is the right one for you. And I've been there myself. That's why I created the Ultimate IBD Diet Decoder Quiz to help you find your best diet for your unique needs. Now, maybe you've tried one of these diets, but you gave up quickly because they were just too strict or they didn't fit with your lifestyle. Here's the truth. There is no one-size-fits-all diet. But there is one best diet for you. And the best diet for you isn't just about your symptoms. It's about your lifestyle and your personality too. Are you ready to find the gut healing diet that fits you like a glove? Head on over to KarenHaley.com/quiz to take my ultimate IBD diet decoder quiz. It's free and it only takes 3 minutes. Discover what you've been meant to be eating to put your IBD in its place. That's KarenHaley.com/quiz. And now back to the show. Okay, now remember, at the top of the natural provider pyramid stems 3 types of providers: the integrative medicine doctor, the functional medicine practitioner, and the naturopathic physician. And you have this daunting task of deciding which type of those providers will suit you best. But I got to tell you, I've got you, girl. I am going to walk you step by step through what these providers stand for so that you can make the best decision, the most informed decision for you. Now, to help you get familiar with the similarities and the differences between these 3 options, I have created categories within each profession to help basically separate what these providers are all about. So those categories are their beliefs, their training, their philosophy, the conditions that they treat, the treatments they use, and then how to go about finding them. You can then use these categories to help you make the best decision for you regarding your natural healthcare. There is no right or wrong answer here. All of these types of practitioners have the potential to offer value and truly exceptional care. This provider breakdown, it will just help you make the best decision that fits for you. Also, I want to mention that there's a ton of information I'm about to hit you with. This is a lot of details. And you might be driving, you might be out for a walk or doing the dishes or cooking dinner or even in the bathroom or the shower. Well, those are the kind of things that I do when I'm listening to podcasts anyway. But don't feel like you have to pull your car over or stop what you're doing, because after I go over these categories and walk you through the ins and outs of these natural healing providers, I'm going to tell you how you can get your hands on my handy dandy "Which Natural Provider is Right for Me" resource. It's going to give you all of these details in a more concise, clear-cut format. So stay with me now. Start your gears turning, start the marinating in your mind. Be in the moment with me, but know that I've got your back. I've got your back for later, and I'm going to tell you how you can get this free resource, "Which Natural Provider is Right for Me," in just a few minutes. Okay, so let's begin. And let's begin with the integrative medicine doctor. Are they the right natural provider for you? Now, integrative docs, they have this really unique approach because they believe in combining alternative therapies with conventional medicine to treat the whole person, mind, body, and soul. And they come at it from a variety of backgrounds, really. They might be coming from osteopathy, or they could be a traditional MD. They could come from a traditional MD training program, medical school, or they could even come from the naturopathic medicine sphere. Besides that training, integrative docs will then receive additional integrative training at a school like the Andrew Weil Center for Integrative Medicine, and that's located in Arizona. An integrative medicine doctor's philosophy revolves around the idea that illness manifests from an imbalance in the body's natural equilibrium. Can I say that word? Let me try it one more time. Equilibrium. There we go. So from the body's natural equilibrium with lifestyle, genetics, things like environment, mental health, all of those things, they say, play a very crucial role in your body's ability to heal or to manifest illness. Because they come from such education heavy backgrounds, they're able to treat a really wide range of chronic illnesses, including chronic pain, metabolic disorders, digestive issues, hello, Crohn's and colitis, mental health conditions, and then autoimmune diseases as well. Now, in terms of treatment, integrative providers, they often combine the conventional approach like medicine or even surgery with the unconventional like massage, chiropractic care, nutrition, and counseling. And this is the hallmark of the integrative doc. So if you want to find a provider who is skilled in both the Western medicine side as well as someone who sees value in more Eastern philosophies, this type of provider might just be your jam. It's really rare, I have to say, to find a full-fledged IBD literate integrative medicine doctor, especially in the United States, but they do exist. You just need to be willing to travel to them or see them via telehealth. Isn't telehealth great these days? See them via telehealth if you don't live near where they practice. Now, to seek out an integrative medicine doctor, it's really best to check out the American Board of Integrative Medicine, or you might even be able to get a referral from your current healthcare provider. So that's the integrative medicine natural health provider. That's their beliefs, training, their philosophy, the conditions they treat, the treatments they use, and how to find them. In a nutshell, what do you think? In my opinion, here's what I have to say about integrative docs. In my opinion, if having a provider who is skilled at both the medicine side of things, the traditional approach, along with the skills and knowledge to know when a more natural method is reasonable to try, then this is your doctor. All right, let's go ahead and continue on and talk about natural medicine, these categories. Again, we're going to go through the same categories again, but this time, let's look at it from the lens of a functional medicine provider. Is this the type of natural medicine provider for you? I don't know. Let's find out. Functional practitioners focus on root cause medicine as they aim to identify the underlying causes of diseases like IBD. And they view the whole body as interconnected, and they practice personalized medicine. I love that. So there is no one size fits all approach here. No one size fits all approach that fits the masses. They are all about digging deep into your specific needs, even if the patient they're seeing after you has the same condition as you. Your treatment plan, it might look completely different from theirs. That's something that I love about functional medicine. Functional medicine providers, they come from really diverse backgrounds. They might be in the nutrition field or traditional medicine or naturopathy. And then what happens is they, just like the integrative doc, they receive that additional functional and diagnostic training. So functional medicine practitioners, they're not all MDs or even doctors, because they can come from somewhere in the medical or even the mental health space, but then they specialize in functional techniques. That's what sets them apart. Now, personally, in my practice, I most align with a functional approach to healing. The methods that I use in my one-on-one coaching practice with my clients, they are all from a functional perspective. A functional practitioner's philosophy, it centers around this idea that illness stems from dysfunctioning body systems that are linked to several things: lifestyle, diet, genetics, and the environment. And functional medicine providers believe that health occurs when these systems are optimized. Functional medicine providers treat a wide range of chronic conditions, just like integrative docs, including autoimmune, metabolic, digestive, hormonal, cardiovascular, neurological diseases, just to name a few. Though I will say though that they do tend to specialize in one or two areas where most of their training lies. Functional treatments, they often include things like a personalized nutrition plan, targeted supplements, lifestyle modifications, stress management, detoxification, and mind-body techniques. Now, if you're thinking that this is the type of provider that's exactly what you've been waiting for, wait no longer, because you can find a functional medicine provider through resources like the Institute for Functional Medicine, or it's called IFM, or possibly again through a referral from your healthcare provider. I know that in my practice, several of my clients will say that their doctor is the one who referred them to me. Some providers are open-minded and they will refer their patients to functional practitioners. But just in case you don't have access to a doctor that's open-minded to natural methods of healing, it's good to know that you could go to the IFM program. You could go there online because they have a referral center. All right, so what did you think? What do you think about the functional approach to natural medicine? If an individualized approach is important to you, if bringing nutritional and lifestyle changes into your healing regime is important to you, then I would say bring on the functional provider. That's the one for you. But don't bring them on just yet, because I've got one more natural provider to introduce you to, and that is the naturopathic provider. Is this the provider for you? Let's find out. Okay, so the naturopathic doctor, they believe in the body's innate ability to heal, the innate ability to heal itself. And they use natural, holistic approaches that focus on root cause healing. Naturopaths attend accredited naturopathic schools of medicine. Like, for example, they might go to Bastyr University in California. And these types of doctors, and yes, they are doctors, they undergo rigorous training in alternative as well as traditional medicine. A naturopath's philosophy, it centers around the idea that illness manifests from an imbalance in the body, with things like poor diet, stress, environmental triggers, toxins, and genetics. All of these things, to them, it plays a significant role. And naturopaths, they also treat a wide range of chronic illnesses, including autoimmune, digestive, ding, 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 hormonal, allergies, cardiovascular, even mental health conditions. But like functional providers, it's common for them to then pick one or two fields that they specialize in. In terms of treatment, it will often include things like herbal medicine with botanicals, homeopathy, hydrotherapy, counseling, acupuncture, Ayurveda, traditional Chinese medicine, as well as physical medicine. So the best place to find a naturopathic provider, besides doing a Google search in your area, is to maybe check out a resource like the American Association of Naturopathic Physicians, or AANP, or you could also check out the Institute for Natural Medicine. Now, some states in the US have a naturopath in every corner. They are covered by medical insurance and they practice just like an MD with the same privileges. Other states have strong restrictions on NDs, naturopathic doctors. And if you want to see a natural provider like this, you need to shell out the dough yourself because there's no insurance involved. Now, from my experience, the naturopathic approach to treating IBD specifically, it's really groundbreaking and unique. You'll hear from naturopaths ideas to help you that your GI doc would never even have thought of. They reach back into centuries old wisdom with herbals and botanical treatments that have been used as far back as early Indian, Chinese, Native American, or Egyptian cultures. Ideas that have long been forgotten by our medical community today. If you want to get a good idea of what a naturopath specializing in gut health might bring to your gut healing table, I highly recommend you check out episode 102 of the Cheeky podcast, just a few episodes ago, where I had an eye-opening conversation and a truly enlightening conversation with an IBD expert and naturopath, Dr. Alana Gurevich. So check that out because that will give you a good idea of the kind of amazing things naturopathic doctors bring into their practice. Okay, so that's how naturopathy works. How does it sound to you? If you love going back with ancient medical wisdom, if you believe that given the right tools, the body can heal itself, finding a naturopath as your natural care provider, it might be the right option for you. Now, each of these stellar top of the natural health pyramid providers, they bring something unique to the table. But ultimately, the right fit, it depends on your individual needs. It depends on your preferences and your values. By grabbing my free resource, Which Natural Care Provider is Right for Me, you will absolutely have what you need to make the right healing decision for you. You can use this resource to help you explore your options. Do your research, especially to find local providers in your area. And of course, I want you to trust your instincts with this. And remember, you don't need to connect with all of these amazing root cause natural health providers. What's most important is finding the right provider who resonates with you and can support you on your healing journey. So go ahead and get your Which Natural Care Provider is Right for Me resource. It's going to help you with everything that we talked about today, but it's just in a more concise version, wrapped up in a nice, neat, tidy bow. Head on over to KarenHaley.com/natural to get your hands on this oh so valuable resource today. And remember, it's KarenHaley.com, and that's /natural. You can get that resource right now. Okay, if you're listening intently to all these details, the ones I've been dishing out about integrative doctors, about functional medicine providers, and about naturopaths, you might have noticed that there's actually a lot of similarities between these types of naturally minded, holistic providers. At the end of the day, these approaches by these providers, they may seem very similar in many ways. And so then the question becomes, well, how do I decide? How do I decide which type of naturally minded, holistic provider is best for me? After the break, we're going to talk about 5 foolproof questions to ask yourself to help you determine which natural health provider is the right one for you. And then we're going to finish up this important convo today with a lightning round of Do It Like a Mom, finding the best natural care provider like only an IBD mom can. Stay with me, will ya? This is where all the knowledge that's been marinating for you, it will begin to gel and solidify. It is action plan time. So don't go anywhere. Hey there, it's Karen popping into the episode. I want to thank you so much for tuning into the Cheeky podcast for moms with IBD today. You know, the great information that we're dishing out on this pod is exactly the same type of conversations I get to have with my clients every day. And if you're ready to take your IBD healing journey to the next level and move into being the mom you always dreamed you'd be, then hop on over to KarenHaley.com/consult and book your free IBD consultation with me today. Remember, my mom had to be a little bit different and spell my name with a Y. So that's KarenHaley.com/consult. Now, on our call, we will dive into what you're struggling with most right now and make a plan for how we can work together to help you achieve your big, bold, beautiful, life-transforming goals. No more sitting on the sidelines, waiting for that miracle cure to magically happen. You've got what it takes to do this, mama. You just need a little nudge in the right direction. And I've got your back. KarenHaley.com/consult. And now back to the show. So we know we can't just rely on one GI doc to put all of our gut healing puzzle pieces together. We know the root cause, long-term approach to healing lies with a natural care provider, and we know our best top of the pyramid choices, the integrative doc, the functional medicine provider, and the naturopath. And I want to stress that I'm not discounting the acupuncturist, the Reiki master, the massage therapist, the craniosacral therapist, etc., etc. These are also important options in your healing care, but they're not the top of the pyramid, right? They're not those providers. They are the ancillary soldiers who play a vital role in your healing. But it all trickles down from the top of the pyramid with these providers that we're talking about today. So the question then becomes, how do you know? How do you know which type of natural provider is right for you? Well, you ask yourself these 5 questions, just 5 questions. Answer these questions with me right now, and you're going to be well on your way to finding the right provider for you. Okay, question number 1. Is it important that my provider be knowledgeable in both Eastern, so that would be the more natural side of things, and Western, the more prescriptive, the medical side of things? Is that important to you? If the answer is yes, an integrative approach is really your best option to pursue. Done. Case closed. No need to go any further with these questions. But for argument's sake, let's just say that you're not quite sure yet. So let's keep going with our questionnaire. Okay, so question number 2. Who's in my area? Who's in my area? If it's important for you to see a doctor in person, and I would have to say that it's nice to be able to do that from time to time, even with the advances in telemedicine, well, then pick the one that is actually in your area. The truth is, traditional MDs, they're found pretty much everywhere. They're in every town in America and around the world. But holistic, naturally minded doctors, they aren't always available in high numbers. So depending on where you live in the world, it might be hard to find someone. But the good news is that all these types of providers have the power to be of a big help to you, to help you dig beneath the surface of what's going on at the root of your Crohn's or colitis. So just pick the one who's nearest to you. Pick the one that's actually in your town. Pick the one where you live and just get started. You can always make a change later if they're not a good fit. And of course, virtual consultations, they're an option as well, because gone are the days where you could only see doctors who live in your part of the world. I have to say, my main GI provider, she lives 2,700 miles away from me, and I wouldn't trade her expertise or the time she takes with me or her outside the box root cause thinking. I wouldn't change that. I wouldn't trade that for anything in the world. Okay, question number 3. Question number 3 to ask yourself, do I need testing or prescriptions? So while most integrative and most functional providers have these types of privileges, at least in the United States, there are many states that do not recognize naturopaths as doctors, and therefore they don't allow them to write prescriptions or order tests. Maryland, where I live, it's one of those states. And even though I have a naturopath, she is not able to write prescriptions or order procedures for me. So instead, she makes recommendations, and then I bring them to my MD, and I ask if she's comfortable ordering what my naturopath thinks that I need. And I do have to say, luckily, and I do feel very lucky about this, I have a really great MD who's willing to work with me, but not everybody has that option. So ask yourself, do I need tests? Do I need prescriptions? Because if you do, a naturopath might not be for you, and that can help you whittle down your choice. Okay, so number 4, we made it to number 4. Question number 4, what's the cost? We got to talk about price here. It's the elephant in the room. What's the cost, and can my insurance cover it? In the United States, this can be a really big issue. I wish that I could say that all natural and holistic providers accept insurance, but the truth is most don't. And their fees, they can be quite pricey. Trust me, it is worth it. I'm telling you, if you can find a way to do it, it is so worth it, especially in the long run, because it will probably save you from medical expenses, but it's still pricey upfront. So always check with your insurance company or your HSA account first to see what they might cover. Look for out-of-network benefits and see what you might be able to get back before you go to your appointment. And don't forget, you'll be filling out your own paperwork. So don't forget to ask your fee-for-service doctor. That means that they take cash, not insurance. So fee-for-service doctor, please ask them for a super bill. It's called a super bill because that's what you will need to submit to your own insurance company. Your insurance claim, you'll need to submit that on your own. It's called a super bill. Okay, so if paying out of pocket or getting reimbursed later, if that isn't an option for you, you're going to want to find someone that will take your insurance. And this varies from provider to provider and from state to state. So just keep this in mind when you're deciding who will best serve you. Okay, lastly, question number 5 is, what's the reputation of the provider? So important, right? No matter which natural healing category they fall under, who are they and how do they serve their clients or their patients? That's actually, even in my opinion, much more important. Check out their reviews, ask around about the provider, and above all, interview the practitioner before you make a final decision. This is where empowerment and advocacy come into play. Remember, you are in charge of your healthcare. These individuals are your consultant. They work for you. Their ability to help you is much more important than what medical program they attended, at least in my opinion. Okay, so what are you thinking now with those 5 questions in mind? Now that it's marinated and now it's gelled and now solidified a little bit more, ask yourself, what are you feeling? Who is going to be the best fit for you? And you might not be able to answer that question fully today, and that's okay. You've got everything you need to go forth and conquer this task. Use your Which Natural Provider is Right for Me resource to help you complete this task. Remember, you can get that at KarenHaley.com/natural, KarenHaley.com/natural. Okay, now there's only one thing left to do, and it's time to do natural providers like the badass IBD warrior mom that I know you are. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you several quick hit tips, I like to call them, to be the IBD mom warrior that you are, to do natural providers like the badass IBD mom warrior that you are. Okay, so number 1, leverage your networks like a Playdate Pro. You want to use your networks for referrals, for doctor or provider referrals, just as you might ask for recommendations for a pediatrician or a good babysitter. Turn to your local mom groups, online forums, community centers, wherever you go where there are other moms. Use that to help you get personal referrals to naturopaths, to functional medicine practitioners, or to integrative health experts. And you might even want to take it to social media. Utilize platforms like Facebook and LinkedIn or Instagram, because many professionals maintain active social media profiles where they will maybe share their expertise. They interact with the public. They might post client testimonials. All right, what else? How do you do it like a mom? Consult like you're interviewing a babysitter. You wouldn't just let somebody babysit your kid that you don't know. You would interview them. Many natural health care practitioners, they offer free initial consultations. Use this as an opportunity to see what is their philosophy and approach, and how does that align with your expectations. Not enough people, I have to say, take advantage of this, but it is really, truly a must-do task. Don't forget to go into that initial consultation then prepared with specific questions. Ask about their experience with IBD, their approach to treatment, their successes with past patients. How do they handle communication, follow-ups? How hard is it to get an appointment with them? All of those things. These questions, they go a long way to help you make your ultimate natural provider decision. Okay, and then after that consult, you're going to do your homework. You're going to check the doctor's credentials, their licensing, and this includes looking into their educational background. Maybe they have additional certifications, any professional affiliations that they're part of. I always like to check out where they went to school. I look at their board certification status because when it's a really tough decision to make, maybe I'm deciding between two practitioners, this can be a good help. It can be a good deciding factor. Also, don't forget to check out patient testimonials on their websites, but also look for those independent reviews as well, like on Google or Healthgrades or other medical review sites, because then that's going to help you get kind of a more balanced view of this practitioner. Okay, do it like a mom means that you also absolutely consider proximity. Just like when you're scheduling a play date, right? You want to make sure it's convenient, it's a kid-friendly location. You just want to think about those types of logistics. If the provider's office is too far, or it might be not where it's convenient for you, that's going to add stress and that's counterproductive to your treatment. So we don't want that. But also remember that many providers offer virtual consultations, which can be a great option for a busy mom like you. It not only saves you travel time, but it makes scheduling a lot more flexible. Also, trust your mom instincts by listening to your gut. Not just the rumbles in your IBD belly. I don't mean the actual listening to what's going on in your belly. I mean, listen to what your intuition is telling you. Just as you would know it's instinctively if something is wrong with your child, trust your instincts when choosing a healthcare provider. If you feel rushed during that consultation, if you feel dismissed or you feel uncomfortable, it might be worth considering other options. Okay, I have one last do it like a mom tip for you, just a quick hit. Stay informed and be flexible. The more that you know about IBD, about your IBD specifically, and about your potential treatment options, the better that you are able to advocate for yourself and communicate effectively with your provider. And also it's important to note that natural medicine, it works a little bit different than traditional medication cover-ups. Often it takes holistic, gradual approaches a little bit longer. So make sure you're being flexible, set realistic goals and timelines with your provider, and then be open to adjusting them as your treatment progresses. Oh my goodness. Woo! My friend, woo! We did it. That is a lot of knowledge. If you were taking notes, I bet you were just writing furiously. Thank goodness I have that resource for you. Holy cow, that was a lot of information. But you did it. You did it. And you are ready to put this plan into action. Now, as you embark on your journey into holistic healing and naturally minded providers with all the knowledge and insights that you gained today, remember that finding a root cause healer, that's your ultimate goal. Whether it's a functional medicine doctor, an integrative health practitioner, or a naturopathic doctor, the decision is yours to make. Take the time to explore your options, trust your instincts, and choose the provider who resonates with you and your individual needs most. And keep in mind, you're doing all of this to begin to build a comprehensive support system to help manage and then eventually thrive with IBD. Can I get an amen? Your best care, it starts with these types of providers. I cannot say it enough. It starts with these types of providers because they are the ones at the top of the pyramid. And then from there, you can add in other practitioners who support your ultimate health goals. Last reminder, one last time, I want to say, don't forget to grab that free resource. We covered so much today, but it's all there in a very nice, neat, concise format. And I have to say, it's kind of graphically cool as well. It's in a great format. Grab that free resource because it's really going to help you out. Which natural provider is right for me? You can grab that resource at KarenHaley.com/natural. That's KarenHaley.com/natural. And it will just help you to ensure that you find the best natural healing provider, the one that's best for you. Long-term IBD remission, it's waiting for you. Take this big, bold leap. I promise you, hand over my heart, I promise you, you won't be sorry that you did. Until we chat again, I'm wishing you much gut love and much happiness always. Chat soon.